The city of San Diego's encampment ban set to take place in a few days. A look at what the streets look like now and the work happening before the ordinance takes place.
More people are finding flyers with hateful messages in their neighborhoods.
What's the hottest San Diego has ever been, and when did we get that hot? The answer may surprise you.
And Khalil Pillison wants to become the MMA Youth World Champion. How you can send him on the trip of a lifetime.
And can you stay anonymous if you win a lottery jackpot in California? We verify. CBS 8 News live at 6 starts now.
We are following breaking news near the border tonight. Crews trying to get a handle on a brush fire that's burned about 300 acres at last report.
This is at the Tecate border. According to CAL FIRE, about 200 acres have burned on the Mexico side of the border and about 100 acres on the U.S. side. These are images from Chopper 8 just a few minutes ago near the south slope of Tecate Peak where the fire is burning. We're going to continue to stay on top of this one and bring you any developments here and on all our online platforms.
Our other top story, the city of San Diego's unsafe camping ordinance takes effect this Sunday, but tonight some people claim it's already being enforced.
The city council passed the ordinance last month aiming to clear the streets of encampments. CBS 8's Rocio de la Fe is live downtown with the city's response to claims it's already removed some encampments. Rocio?
Well, the city says they have indeed cleared out some encampments in certain locations, but it's not related to the unsafe camping ordinance. Instead, the city says they cleared out some encampments because they were creating a hazard for people that were either walking or driving. Either way, the unsafe camping ordinance will go into effect this weekend. The city of San Diego is set to begin enforcing the unsafe camping ordinance, which will ban encampments in certain areas of the city. Policy director at Alliance San Diego, Erin Tsurumoto Grassi, says she's seen the city already start to clear out some streets.
We're seeing a lot of enforcement, folks being cleared out of the area leading up to the actual ordinance going into effect. I reached out to the city of San Diego and was told the city has cleared some encampments in recent weeks that were blocking roads and creating unsafe driving conditions. A city spokesperson says the work has nothing to do with the unsafe camping ordinance and that enforcement of the new ban on encampments will be gradual. But Tsurumoto Grassi says the city's approach does not solve the homelessness crisis. Where are folks going to go? We know that the city does not have enough shelter for the number of folks that currently need it. I tried finding out how much shelter space is currently available, but never got a number back from the city. One woman who's currently at a shelter tells me she's frustrated with the time it takes to get into housing and move people into available spaces.
I've been in a shelter a year and 7 months and have seen very little movement for anybody getting out of there. The 3% seem to get help, and the rest of us are just lost in the wayside.
The city says the ordinance is a tool that allows the city to get people resources and help clear the streets. But homeless advocates say they're concerned the ordinance will only push unhoused people into other neighborhoods or cities. Now, the new ordinance will ban encampments in a number of different locations throughout the city, including near schools, transit centers, parks, canyons, beaches, and homeless shelters, regardless of shelter capacity or availability. Back to you.
And Rocio, do we have an answer yet? When the city moves people, where will the city relocate those people?
I asked the city that, and I was told that there are a number of different resources for people to relocate to, including the new safe sleeping site and as well as the other city shelters in our area. So a lot, that many people have that same question, but that's the answer that I was given, at least today.
Seems like
in downtown Rocio de la Fe, reporting for CBS 8.
Seems like the numbers may not match up. We'll see what happens with this. Rocio de la Fe, thanks.
New tonight, a former elementary school teacher of the year from National City is facing new charges involving a second underage boy. 34-year-old Jacqueline Ma was already facing 15 felonies for alleged lewd acts with one of her students at Lincoln Acres Elementary. Today, prosecutors added 4 more felony counts involving a second boy who was also under the age of 14. Ma pleaded not guilty in Chula Vista Court this morning to an amended complaint. She remains in jail without bail and faces 150 years to life in prison if convicted of all 19 felonies. Her next court hearing is set for September 21st.
We're still waiting for more information tonight about the death of a person found today on a trail near Lake Hodges in North County. San Diego Fire Rescue first said this started as an open space rescue about 2:30 this afternoon, but it was soon determined that the unidentified person was dead. We're told they were reported missing this morning. It's not clear how they ended up on that trail. At last check, efforts were still underway to recover the body.
During this heat wave, officials say you need to stay hydrated and not overexert yourself, especially during peak hours.
Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis is in early tonight with a first look at your microclimate forecast. Carlene, it is just hot, hot, hot out there.
It is very hot, and those peak hours around 11 a.m. all the way until 3, because that's when we start to get the most intense sun rays. You're also talking about the heating of the day, so that's when we get our highs. And it's really good idea to not be out there on any hiking trails or any strenuous outdoor activities. Just something to keep in mind as we continue to deal with the heat. We are now in our 3rd week. When we take a look at our current temperatures, you do have temperatures kind of getting away from the highs that we had earlier today. We had some triple digits across inland areas, but still holding on to some 90s. We got 91 degrees for Escondido, the same for Poway, 93 degrees current temperature for Ramona. You also have the 70s along the coast, where we had 80s earlier today when it came to those daytime highs. We have an excessive heat warning that will continue all the way until Friday night at 8 p.m., and that is across the desert. You're talking 112 to 118 when it comes to those desert highs. Also, with a inland heat advisory, you have that for the inland areas that's extending in towards the inland valleys and the mountains. That's with those 90s in triple digits that pinpoints cities like La Mesa, Poway, Escondido, Santee, as well as San Marcos, Julian, and Pine Valley. So we are talking about anything that you see highlighted right there on your screen in orange. We'll go ahead and take a look at your highs and also talk about some monsoonal moisture back in the forecast coming up. Carlo?
Thank you, Carlene. It's important to plan ahead if you'll be outside during this excessive heat wave. Hydrate before you leave your house and always bring extra water with you. The coast will be the only place to find relief from the heat. Battalion Chief Dave Hardenberger says when the marine layer burns off, it sometimes catches people off guard.
Shade is super important. Hydration, make sure that you're well rested, well fed. I think a lot of times in the mornings when we have the marine layer, people have a false sense of security. It's going to be a nice cool day.
He also says before walking your pet, check to see if the concrete is too hot for them by putting your hand on the ground for at least 10 seconds.
San Diego's hot right now. We've been talking about it all day in the last few days, but just how hot is it? What do you think the hottest temperature recorded in San Diego is actually?
And what's the hottest month? We're asking all the questions, so we sent CBS 8's Kirsten Holmes to find out.
Okay, so it's hot outside, but is it really? Today across San Diego, it was only in the 80s, but if you were outside, you felt hot. But what is the hottest San Diego has ever been, and when did we get there? Here's what we found out. What's the hottest temperature recorded at the airport?
I would say 105.
I would say at the airport, probably about 90 degrees.
80s or 90s, like maybe like 85 to like 93.
Hottest temperature recorded at the airport was 111 in 1960 something. All good guesses, but Julia, Andy, and Dylan all got it wrong. The hottest temperature ever recorded at San Diego International was on September 26, 1963. And can you imagine how hot that must have been walking across the tarmac? What do you think is the hottest month in San Diego?
I'm gonna go with July.
Yeah.
Good guess.
July or August?
Both wrong.
Oh, I would say August.
September.
Really?
September? I can already smell the pumpkin latte for September. That doesn't sound right.
It's right, but we were a little surprised ourselves. Thankfully, I got a friend, CBS 8's chief meteorologist, Carlene Chavis, to help bridge the heat gap for us. Carlene, it's hot outside, but I feel like it's been hotter, no?
It definitely has been hotter. This is not even the hottest that we have ever been. Talking about September 1963, we got to 111. So a lot of our hot temperatures actually come around the time of Santa Ana winds, so that kind of falls a little bit more into the fall months. Wacky weather, it's definitely warmer than usual, but even over the next few months, we're still gonna be dealing with heat.
Experts like Carlene say what makes it feel so hot is how long the heat wave lasts, because the heat is lasting longer than usual and it's hotter than normal inland. And Carlene says, brace yourself, because next week we're getting ready for more.
it's still gonna be humid here. So everyone's gonna be like, oh my gosh, it's the hottest. No, it's not. It's just uncomfortable and I'm sorry.
You've been warned, so stay cool and hydrated out there, San Diego. Kirsten Holmes, CBS 8.
Stay cool. A coalition of Kaiser Permanente unions hit the picket line today with their contracts set to expire on September 30th. More than 85,000 frontline workers are using this demonstration to bring attention to what they say is understaffing throughout the system. Employees say low staffing is making it harder for them to provide quality care. Kaiser says it's a priority to reach an agreement ensuring competitive pay and outstanding benefits for its employees.
People are finding more and more flyers with hateful messages on them in San Diego neighborhoods, specifically targeting Jewish people. CBS 8's Ariana Cohen talked with San Diego police and the leaders of a Stop Anti-Semitism group.
San Diego police collected multiple flyers off car windshields today with anti-Semitic messages.
So we're not going to get into what these flyers say. We're not going to amplify any kind of message of hate. These flyers they're inflammatory, they're racist, they're bigoted, they're nasty. And the police department doesn't stand for it. We stand with the community against any kind of hate incident.
Police found them on Zion and Archwood streets in the Allied Gardens area. Lieutenant Adam Sharkey tells me this is not considered a hate crime, but merely a hate incident that they will investigate.
Leaving flyers in a public place on a vehicle parked in a public place, regardless of the content, unless it meets very specific thresholds, does not qualify as a crime, as disgusting and as distasteful as that message might be. Now, if it reaches something where windows are broken or somebody's assaulted or things of that nature, that is a crime.
However, Leora Rez, executive director of the nonprofit Stop Anti-Semitism, disagrees.
When we look at the Office of Civil Rights, which protects against race, ethnicity, and religion, the Jewish people are in fact a protected civil rights group. And these particular flyers and this white supremacist group is targeting solely the Jewish people. So we disagree with that statement that this is not a hate crime. It is in fact one. Case of physical assault shouldn't have to happen for them to enact hate crime laws. This group basically, they blame everything from abortion to the gun control debate, to COVID, to the Ukraine war, to now animal slaughter on the Jews. And their sole goal is to isolate and vilify the Jewish people.
San Diego police are investigating a hate crime involving an assault against a San Diego Chabad Jewish Center member.
We are investigating a hate crime. We are actively working leads pertaining to that case.
Earlier this month, CBS 8 talked to this couple who found similar flyers in their San Carlos neighborhood. People living in Del Cerro and Santee say they found flyers on their car windshields too.
Anti-Semitism is getting only worse at a very startling rate in California, and we need to do everything possible to put a stop to this.
Ariana Cohen, CBS 8.
Disturbing stuff. Thanks, Ariana. Still ahead tonight, a plea deal for President Biden's son falls apart in federal court.
Plus, the hero who jumped into action when a pregnant postal carrier was overcome by the heat.
And up next, experts make the connection between our global heat wave and human-made climate change.